So Trump is going to be president. He will take oath on 20th January next year. There is still time left for the inauguration. What will his next few weeks look like? When will he come to Washington, D.C., and what happens after that? This is home base for Donald Trump, his residence in Florida's Mar-a-Lago resort. This is where he plotted his comeback, where he hosted foreign dignitaries, and where he watched his election triumph on Wednesday. A media contingent is camping across the shore. Patrol boats are also on alert. After all, this isn't just a former president's home. It's also the next president's home. Trump will not be here beyond January. He's got a busy couple of weeks ahead. First, a visit to the White House. Joe Biden has already extended an invite. It's only a question of when the visit happens. As per tradition, the incumbent president hosts the incoming leader at the White House. In 2020, Donald Trump skipped that tradition, but in 2016, he was hosted by Barack Obama to what turned out to be an awkward meeting. Expect animosity to hang in the air because Donald Trump will be hosted by two of his presidential rivals, Joe Biden, who defeated him in 2020, and Kamala Harris, whom he defeated this year. Away from Washington, the transfer of power begins. December 17th is the first step. State electors will meet in respective state capitals. These electors make up the Electoral College. For example, Texas has 40 Electoral College votes, meaning they have 40 state electors. All of them will cast their vote for the candidate who won that state. In this case, Donald Trump. This exercise happens in every state, after which these votes are transferred to Washington, D.C. It reaches here on the 25th of December. The next step happens right here at the U.S. Capitol. The state electoral college votes are counted and certified by a joint session of Congress. The vice president conducts this proceeding and certifies the election. In this case, Trump's rival, Kamala Harris. This is usually a routine event in the transition of power, but this time it has been declared a national security event. Why? Because of what happened the last time when Trump supporters tried to overturn the certification process. Something tells us that won't be happening this time. After that, it's a countdown to inauguration. Trump will be quite busy on these days. He must pick political appointees, select cabinet members, receive daily presidential briefs, basically set up an entirely new administration. Chances are he will do that from Florida, from his Mar-a-Lago home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, Donald John Trump.
Then, on January 20th, comes the big day. Trump's second inauguration. He will return to Washington, D.C. ahead of that. This is Blair House, the white building that you see behind me. This is the official presidential guest house, and it is tradition that the president-elect spends the night here before Inauguration Day. Joe Biden and his wife Jill did that on January 19th before his inauguration. And in 2017, Donald Trump also stayed at the Blair House before his inauguration. There was a lot of speculation that he might prefer a hotel, but he ended up staying here finally. Let's see if he sticks to that tradition this time. This is Trump's second time on this ride. Last time, he visited a church on Inauguration Day, after which he headed to the White House. The president and the president-elect ride together from there to the Capitol Hill. They will use the presidential limousine, the Beast, a car that Trump used just 4 years ago. And this is where the inauguration happens, on the west front of the US Capitol. The public can get free tickets from members of Congress. Usually inaugurations are attended by all former presidents and first ladies. The president-elect takes his oath of office on top of those stairs. Trump used 2 Bibles to take his oath the last time. One was his own, the other belonged to Abraham Lincoln.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
After the inauguration, the new president sees off the outgoing leader. the Bidens will get one final ride on Air Force One. And the destination? Anywhere you pick. Once Biden leaves, it's the Trump show. He will first attend a luncheon at the US Capitol. There he will sign nominations and maybe even executive orders. After that, Trump will inspect military troops from the Capitol building. And then it's back to the White House. Ceremonial military regiments, citizens' groups, marching bands, all of them lead the President and the First Lady to the White House. They walk through Pennsylvania Avenue, often surrounded by hundreds of supporters who line the streets. All those traditions and steps bring us back here to the White House. Donald Trump will be back in the presidential limousine, the Beast. The motorcade will drive him from the US Capitol to the presidential mansion behind me. And thus another American presidency will begin. For Donald Trump, his second one. But it's a completely different story on the betting market.
Elon Musk, the tech visionary who is backing Donald Trump.
In New York, the Dow Jones and Nasdaq dropped over 3%.
Joining Putin in flexing muscle is his dear friend Xi Jinping.
The U.S. law calls for a presidential poll to be held on the Tuesday.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I like that.